Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening to all of you, and I am just really happy to be here. Thank you, Aaron, for putting this on, and thank you all because you are an engaged lectorate at this time of the year during the summer. Thank you for being concerned. I am Dorothy Brown, as Aaron has said, and I'm running for mayor of the city of Chicago because I believe that we need a mayor that is both concerned about the people and that is qualified.
Yeah.
Now I want to tell you something about myself that lets you know what has shaped me to be the person to fight for people, to be the person that stands up for people. I came from a set of poor and uneducated parents. My mother got up to the 6th grade and my father to the 9th grade, going to my elementary school at night. My mother was a cook and a domestic worker, and my father was a laundry worker and a cotton farmer. Which means that my mother in the evenings went to someone else's house, made sure that their children were off the school bus, fed and put to bed, while her 8 children took care of themselves. My father washed other people's clothes in the factory. And then he went to a little farm, a little family farm, and he plowed behind a mule and not a tractor. And he planted that cotton field, and he took me and my 7 siblings to the cotton field to chop cotton in the spring and pick cotton in the fall. That helped to form me. I remember looking up at that hot sun and saying, I'm going to college and I'm going to make something of myself. I worked in a factory during my college years right here in Niles, Illinois, putting up parts on a hot paint line. That shaped me when I saw those people on that line, and that was their livelihood. And I said, you know what, I'm going back to college and I'm going to make something of myself. Well, I went back and I majored in accounting. My older sister told me, Dorothy, you must be the best because you're going into it with 2 strikes against you. You are black and you're a woman. And it's a white male-dominated profession. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I worked hard and I graduated #1 in accounting business, #1 in the Department of Accounting, #4 in the entire university. And you know what? Not one major accounting firm in the country would hire me. The guy that I tutored got the job offer. But what happens when #1 is not good enough? Do you go into the corner and cry? Or do you come to Chicago, knock the walls out, and become the clerk for one of the largest court systems in the world? That's what you do. You just keep on fighting and don't let anybody find you. Then I came to Chicago and I said, I'm going to pass that CPA exam because I'm going to prove to them that I'm just as good as my grades say that I am. And I came here and I was able to pass that exam and got a job with the largest accounting firm in the world at the time. And I worked on some major multi-billion-dollar clients, Marshall Fields, Carson Perry Scott. Then I helped the African-American gentleman start an accounting firm. And at that firm, I was one of only 2 senior managers managing the audit of the entire city of Chicago. So I already know the finances of the city of Chicago. And then I went on to the Chicago Transit Authority and I headed up the audit department and I managed that multi-billion-dollar entity from the standpoint of making sure that those buses and trains and every part was properly controlled. I was on the committee that actually created the first automated fare collection system for that multi-billion-dollar corporation. And then I made the decision. Now by that time, I already had a master's degree in business administration and finance from DePaul University. I went there so that I could continue to be competitive. And then, by the time I decided that I needed to run for public office because I wanted to give of myself to the people. I was doing a lot of things, working in not-for-profits, helping young people, helping senior citizens, working with professional organizations. And it came to me that I needed to give of myself and the skills that I had. But I didn't want to run for public office unless I was an attorney. Now I had enough credentials to run for public office, but at 38 years old, my daughter in 7th grade, and by that time I was divorced, so I was a single mother, I went to law school at Chicago Kent College of Law. And I graduated with honors. Then I ran for public office. And during that time, they tried to get me to sell the people out. They told me we could let you win if you would make a deal with us. And I said no. Because I wanted to be able to help people. If you make deals, you can't help people. Now let me tell you something. I I have a burden for our children. Our children deserve to go to school in a safe, clean school. They don't deserve to be sexually assaulted.
That's right.
They deserve someone that cares about them.
That's right.
They deserve to get a good education. We should not be fighting for a few magnet school slots. Every child should get a magnet school education.
Yeah.
And then teachers deserve to be paid properly and their pensions funded. Economic development needs to be fair and equitable for all of the city of Chicago. And I have an economic development plan for all of the city of Chicago for helping to strengthen small businesses. My economic development plan is about community wealth building, looking at the churches, the not-for-profits, the mosques, the synagogues, helping all of those entities, because all of them make up our communities. And making sure that we are fair and equitable in this city. And then finally, the criminal justice system. My platform is about criminal and social justice, ensuring that there's fairness in the way we mete out justice. There needs to be a complete overhaul of our criminal justice system.
That's right.
Because we're talking about criminal misconduct and police misconduct, and those are twins, and we need to make sure that we're addressing both. And then stabilizing the finances of the city. Well, I'm a CPA and an MBA. I think I can figure that out. And we will do everything that we can to do the same thing I did when I became clerk of the court. Look at those finances. The clerk of the court was operating in the red when I took over. In the red when I took over, and now it's operating in the black. Because we analyzed those finances. We turned them upside down. We had to do the heavy lifting. We went to Springfield and changed laws to get that clerk of the circuit court of Cook County in the black. I want to be your next mayor because I have a concern for the people, and I have the experience and the background to get it done. God bless you. Thank you all so very much.
You talked about the criminal justice system and the reforms that are needed. What specifically can the city do to reform the criminal justice system?
Well, what I want to do, Committeeman, is to do a complete overhaul of the police department. We should have 21st century policing strategies utilized by the police department. And I want to put together an expert panel, a panel of experts, to do a complete overhaul, look and see whether or not we are properly organized. Do we have the right number of police districts? Do we have the proper amount of supervisors based upon the number of police officers that we have? And are they properly trained? The United States Justice Department gave us the roadmap. Use of force, supervision, even the health and wellness of police officers, making sure that if a police officer needs help, that they get help. Community policing.
That's right.
There's a roadmap and then I'm going to have an integration of the police department and all of the public safety entities within the county. Because many times we look at it from the standpoint of fixing the police department, and then we look at it from the standpoint of fixing the judicial system. They go together, and we must work together to fix the disproportionate minority confinement and all of the issues surrounding the criminal justice system.
That's right.
Let's jump into the lightning round. Do you support CPAC? Do you support that police reform initiative in the city council right now?
I support something in that vicinity as far as citizens review.
Okay. Do you believe the citizens should have, within a group, have the right to fire the superintendent? Let's say.
I believe that there has to be a combination. That the citizens should have some input. As it relates to who is hired as a superintendent and the actual maintaining or sustaining the superintendent, yes.
And your votes, we'll go through this. Mayor 2015, you didn't run, did you?
I did not run.
Okay, good, okay.
No.
Who'd you vote for in 2015?
Garcia.
Who'd you vote for in the presidential primary 2016?
Who do you think?
Hillary.
Hillary Clinton.
Governor, this most recent election?
Who do you think? Well, I voted for Kennedy.
And how about assessor of Cook County?
Fritz Katie.
Do you believe Jason Van Dyke is guilty of first-degree murder?
But it's clerk of the court who's responsible for his records. I don't think I can say that. I don't think I can answer that one.
Fair. Do you think the TIF system should be abolished?
Well, the TIF system, and I've been analyzing the TIF system from the standpoint, I've been doing a financial analysis of the TIF system, and doing a lot of research on it. I believe that the TIF system has just been misused.
So you keep it, but
I would
reform.
I would revamp it, make sure that those dollars that are being collected are actually, that we actually are developing the neighborhoods that they're supposed to develop. The blighted neighborhoods, and that we're allocating specific amount every year to the school system.
Finally, last question, your grade for this current mayor.
Well, you know, on my paper that I gave you, I gave him a C. And the reason why I gave him a C was because of some of the headquarters that he's brought here, you know, and those jobs.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. God bless you.